I want to get your guys' opinion on this. We got some polls about who would do better with the economy. Before you show the polls, you might have heard we're about 6 months away from, wait for it, the most consequential election of our lifetime.
Yeah.
And you're going to hear that every 4 years, by the way. But this is a pretty important election, just like every election is. But this is a pretty big one.
Yes.
By just your opinions, who do you think most Americans think, or give your own opinion if you want to be political, think will do a better job on the economy? Go ahead, Yinka.
I'll be the first controversial one because I don't think the individual president sitting in the White House is going to have the largest impact to what the economic situation looks like on ground. Based on the system of government that we have a Senate, we have a House of Reps, we have the Treasury, we have different systems in place that doesn't rely on one person.
Everyone's pulling different levers, correct.
But more importantly,
but the buck stops with the CEO.
We have the other CEOs of the thousands of small businesses and all the corporations who have a bigger impact than the President of the United States. That's my opinion.
Thank you for your diplomatic opinion.
It's true.
And I actually agree with you.
It's true.
That Janet Yellen just came out and making a statement that she says that the Fed operates completely independent from the president, as they should.
Right.
But my question to you was, who do you think most Americans trust with the economy?
I think most Americans might poll and trust Trump, but I'm not sure there's enough data to prove that is a factual statement. Simply because the system in place that we've talked about capitalist society just now, really relies on a lot of CEOs, the corporations, how they do business, and our innovation side, right? We have a lot of innovation that creates jobs. That's not the president of the United States just saying, I'm gonna create this social media and create jobs, or create this manufacturing and create jobs. I think there's a lot of innovation in our economic system that creates all these opportunities, creates the GDP that you talk about, and the debt is not a result of those CEOs, as you already know. So I'll segue into saying, the frustration of the young generation, Gen Z, is when they see all these subsidies going out to other countries, they in turn internalize that and ask the question, why can't we get more solutions for our problems here? So now that could be a presidential conversation, right, to solve some of the local problems, some of the national problems.
So Yinka,
yes,
who you going with? Trump or Biden better on the economy? Say one name.
Third party.
Stop it.
I'm in the middle. I'm in the middle right now.
When are you running for Congress, buddy?
Next year.
Diplomat. Awesome thoughts. Jordan Welsh, what's your answer on this?
I feel like...
What do you think would be better for the economy based on this poll we're going to show you from the American people?
Yeah, I feel like unless I live in an echo chamber, it seems like everybody around me is tired of Joe Biden being the president.
Okay.
And I think that's important because you need the people feeling like they like their leader and they feel like they're proud to be in this place. And I think even if you look at sports teams, like if you got a strong quarterback behind the team, everybody is more hyped to be a part of that team. So I think Trump does that really well. You could talk about some of his policies and all that stuff, but he's a really powerful leader and he knows how to get the people going. And when a city...
This is like a Kanye song. He gets the people moving.
It's provocative. Gets the people going.
He's definitely provocative and definitely gets them going.
There you go. Marcel.
So yeah.
Who do you think? You think Trump?
Trump, for sure.
Better for the economy? Why?
So I feel like I have been living here for 10 years, and I feel like I need to work way harder to get the things that I want to help my family than before. Of course, it's a selfish
Before the pandemic, you mean?
Yes.
That's why.
It's the pandemic has a bigger reason behind too. So I think with Trump, we will be able to see things clear, things that we are not able to see now because we are all busy, we are all stressed out, we are all depressed, we are all looking for the after, and we are kind of like blind to see the reality. So I feel like little by little people are waking up and seeing that Trump
Who do you
is
think the
the
American
biggest.
people trust the most with the economy?
Trump. I think
That's
Trump.
it?
Yeah.
But you didn't ask her who she trusted. You asked me who I trusted.
Well,
Who do you
I
trust?
think I think Trump does. I
Okay.
think he represents a strong forward front leader for the country. I
And
think
that's what we
if
need.
you have someone like that leading the way, the level of the other countries respecting your country is different. I think today, with how Joe Biden is leading the country, he's just a puppet at this point. He doesn't really have a say. I do think it is also influence, but if you think about it, I would rather have somebody who's a successful business owner who's also filed for bankruptcy at one point in his life lead the way in the economy, because he has that business type of background. You know, he's, maybe not the most nicest guy, and I'm okay with that, because I don't want my leader to be nice. I want my leader to be a leader.
Strong.
And yeah, I think Trump definitely represents that. I even think with this election, I've seen so many people, even some of the celebrities, which is kind of nice, they're waking up and they're saying, hey, I think we should talk a little bit about Trump. Look, you see Sexy Red, she's super ratchet, but she's a Trumper. And it's now allowing that community to be like, maybe I can consider the orange guy.
You know, listen, if Sexy Red advocated,
No, but how
guys
crazy
need to
that
really
look
wake
Kodak
up.
Black. You see this community that has essentially being a big reason why we went this
So the
way.
biggest idiots in the world are voting for Trump.
No, but it's not
Vote
about
Trump,
that. It's
2024.
not that. It's
I don't
just these
know
are
that-
representatives
I don't
of
know
the
that-
community that
Amy,
needs the most
What do you
help.
think we bet on the economy?
Obviously, Trump. I mean, listen, they both racked up a lot of debt. I mean,
Right.
Trump, I think,
Bingo.
collectively racked up like more
Sure.
debt than any other president prior. However, when we look at like actual action steps that we can take to get ourselves out of this, I think it comes back to more than just a strong leadership presence. It comes back to policy as
Right.
well.
Yes.
At the end of you say that you're somewhere in between. I think with this DEI system that we have in place under Joe Biden, if
Yeah.
this continues to progress the way that it is, we're not going to have a meritocracy anymore. And the meritocracy and the people who are competent, people say that it is a hierarchy of control. It's a hierarchy of competence. The most competent people typically tend to find their way to the top unless they're in a socialist system. And that's what we're going to find ourselves in if we continue under the leadership of Joe Biden. You
That's
disagree.
not-
You're shaking your head.
That's
but
not true. That
Sir,
is a
why?
false
Why is it?
narrative.
Go ahead, Yinka.
Everyone who's been anti-DEI has used this narrative as if to say DEI eliminates all meritocracy. It doesn't. It actually doesn't. It doesn't eliminate it. Now, the point of
What
the
do you
matter
mean
is,
entirely? Or
No, it doesn't eliminate
It doesn't affect it.
and this goes back to my earlier conversation. And again, I'm probably the wrong person to speak about this because I'm not a descendant of a slave from the United States. But I am, however, black. I don't know if you guys noticed, but
You are?
yeah,
Crazy.
yeah,
Yinka?
yeah. This is not
My
this is
dude.
not a South Beach tan.
Stop it.
Man,
The point I want to make is that because our systems is what governs your success rate in this country, just like my friend here mentioned about licenses and things of that nature, those policies about giving several people opportunities matter. A different class people should get a different opportunity because of wherever they live. There's people who may never get opportunities just because of where they live, where they come from.
Sure.
Did you know at some point in time, because of your zip code of where you lived, you were denied loans? Now, so to her point,
gerrymandering,
to her
redlining,
point-
there is some state.
To her
Yeah,
point,
of course.
even if you were a great citizen and you were a great credit score holder, because of where you lived, you would not get certain loans. Basically preventing you from attaining wealth. So there's millions of people who are here in this country right now who are descendants of slaves who never had the opportunity to own homes 40 years ago. So they are behind, in fact, now. So we can make the argument that, okay, work harder, pull your bootstraps and all this semantics. The point of the matter is there's an inequality in the system already that you just can't solve by propping up everybody who's already successful. And whether or not that's DEI, I'm not going to advocate for any specific policy, but nobody has found a policy solution to that yet. And that happens everywhere in the world, by the way. This is not a United States problem.
Okay.
There's also
But
been more
let's- hold
millionaires
on.
created recently, like
Let's-
brand new millionaires than any time before in history, a lot of them coming from the United States. So what do you have to say to that? Yes, I agree. You can't just solve everything by saying, hey, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. But a lot of the most inspirational stories in America come from the type of people that you're talking about.
Inspiration-
They come from people who came from
Inspiration
nothing.
is financial strategy junk. It's literally financial strategy junk. Inspiration doesn't do anything in the real world. I could be
I'm
inspired.
not saying, I'm saying, but for those people.
I could be inspired in a conference and I could go out to the street, and when I get punched in the face, like Mike Tyson says, I come back to reality. What happens in reality is policies matter. So you have to go out there, implement real policies. look at what you have, look at the problems that you have. Now, how you do the policy is up to the president, but you have to look at the problems. Inspiration doesn't do anything. There's people who have been, for decades, centuries, prevented from attaining wealth. This is not, I'll give you a perfect
But
example.
from all of those classes, there's been people who've been able to rise from the depths of that disparity compared to places like China, compared to places, these socialist and communist places where those people don't even have the opportunity to do that.
But
the fact that some of the most inspirational stories in America, the reason why they're inspirational, I'm not saying inspiration should be the motive. I'm saying these people are inspirational on the basis that they came from nothing.
Right.
And by virtue of those people's stories, they're literally disproving what you're saying right now.
Policy.
Is it the vast majority? Maybe not. But these case studies exist, and they wouldn't exist in socialist countries by comparison.
So we're talking about the exception. That would be like me going to a high school and telling 50 kids that if you work hard every day in this gym, you will be like Michael Jordan.
It's the same thing as gym memberships. Most people don't get fit.
That is an unrealistic expectation because he is the exception to the rule.
Most people who go to the gym, who pay for a gym membership, don't get fit.
When you find somebody that is an exception to the rule, you can't use that to govern everybody else. That
There's
person
a small
is an
percentage of
exception
people
for
who
a
achieve
reason.
anything and
But do you
anything
think
in life.
DEI has gone too south? Do you think
It
it's
may
gone
have
too
in
far?
some
Do you think it's
cases.
become a business now?
Let me tell you something. Every policy has some level of corruption embedded in it. Okay. I'm not saying it's a perfect system. I'm not advocating that it's a perfect system. I'm just saying to dismiss it as a stipend or some charity is not a fair and accurate description of what this program is supposed to do.
Fair.
Now we could argue how it could be fixed. We could argue maybe it should be replaced by. There's so many ways to go with this. But to say that somehow this is a equality of outcome strategy is not fair to me.
Well, here's what I'll say, and great
In my
debate
opinion.
here. America's bipolar. And I asked the conversation about Trump or Biden is better for the economy. Now you two are arguing about DEI, respect. But let's bring it into the equilibrium right here. Every 4 to 8 years, America has a choice of what to do. And we go from Democrat to Republican, but that's the same for every issue. Whether it's feminism on the far left, and then it swings all the way to red pill, and then it's down with the patriarchy, up with the matriarchy, DEI. Now DEI must go. It's all about finding a happy medium, an equilibrium, and a balance here.
100%.
Is it true that certain minorities have been discriminated against for years? Yes. But also, isn't it true that now DEI has taken over, and now white people are the most discriminated segment of society? That is actually almost very true. And just like happened in South Africa, you talked about that. So it's about finding a balance and finding an equilibrium.
Agreed.
The reversion to the mean.
Agreed.
So that's what happens with DEI. DEI, you know, United Airlines, listen, we're going to implement DEI policies. Moving forward, we're United Airlines. 50% of all pilots are going to be women. Oh, yes. Hey, by the way, what percentage of pilots are currently women? Oh, only 10%? We fucked up. We messed up here. Hey, by the way, Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. So here's what we're going to do for the Seven Dwarves. Well, we can't just have dwarves. We got to have a tall dwarf. We got to have a short dwarf. We got to have a fat dwarf. We got to find an Asian dwarf. We got to find a dwarf who's gay but's also in a wheelchair.
Right.
This is fucked up. Good luck finding that. This is the problem with DEI. Is that when you have these qualifications or these boxes that you need to check or these numbers that you need to hit or quotas, it's very hard to do. Hey, 50% of people moving forward have to be black female. Hey, by the way, what percentage of the country is black female? 7%. We got a problem here, Chuck.
But can we say
There's the problem.
Can we say
go
the
ahead, Jordan.
intention of something could later be corrupted by the implementation? I think we're mixing the idea with how it was implemented. I'm not sure that the idea in itself is a bad thing. I'm saying maybe the implementation was not great. Maybe it's been corrupted through our own systems in place. So,
I mean, if you just look at the college campuses right now, it's insane what the DEI socialist leftist woke agenda has done to these college kids. It's insane. Go ahead.
We got to reel it back to the beginning because you said you wanted people to come to this live and get richer and more successful. I would argue that focusing on the political matters of the U.S. is worse for you if you want to get rich. It actually does nothing for you. I'm probably the least politically inclined person on this panel, and I've been able to make plenty of money.
Jordan,
and I don't.
Welsh.
I honestly don't even know what the DEI is, and they're gonna flame me for that.
Great, good. But you know what? I'm gonna.
I mean,
by the way, round of applause for Jordan. I'll tell you why I like this answer.
I make money.
Although he's got 2 passports, it's coming his way right now. Good. Remember your friends. It's true. There's some validity to what you're saying. Before I give you that answer, We don't get a chance to talk about this. I'll give you the next one. Show the results of the economy real quick. This is what the country feels will happen in the economy. Trump's up 20%.
Thank God.
He's up 20% on the economy. He's up 20% on the border, which is a shit show. Donald Trump, who people thought were literally insane, is up 20% on mental and physical strength, health.
Look at their photos.
But Joe Biden is up on the abortion issue.
Is that
So
saying
the
this
only
is
way-
based off 600 people?
What's that?
Where?
Oh, it's 6 hours.
600 registered
small
voters.
sample
No, I
size.
just
Small
wondering.
sample. That's the Wall Street Journal.
And it's on Fox News.
That's on Fox News.
No.
With 600
That's on Fox
people.
News.
Before we do this, this is
During
a
the
Wall
party.
Street Journal poll. So, guys, these numbers will change, but it's pretty shocking what's going on here. But Jordan Welsh hit it, and I said it. I say it before, and I'll say it again. Are elections important? Sure. Right? Who's in the White House important? Sure. But you said there's a lot more important factors out there: CEOs of corporations, Congress, who's the Treasury, who's at the chairman of the Fed, Jerome Powell, Janet Yellen. My dude Jordan, millionaire, 26, can't even tell you what DEI is. Why?
There's hope.
Because he's not focused on what's
'Cause he's
going on
smart. He's-
at the White House. He's focused on what's going on at his house. And that's what I encourage people to do. We're so polarized right now. We have so many political issues. There's things that here's how you need to focus. Things that matter and things that you can control. Does it matter? Yes. Can you control it? No. Can you control it? Yes. Does it matter? No. Where those two things intersect, like a Venn diagram, that's where you should focus. Focus on where things that matter that you can control. You can control what happens at your house. You can't control what happens at the White House. I say this all the time. Now, we talked about, listen, I was broke as shit in 2006 under George Bush. In 2007, 2008, for the first time in my life, I made $100,000 under George Bush. I got richer under Obama, I got richer under Trump, and I got richer than I've ever been under Biden. And guess what happens? Whoever the next president is, I'm going to get richer than that. Because it doesn't matter who's in the White House, whether it's red, whether it's blue, focus on the green. And yes, certain presidents can pull the levers and do all that. But at the end of the day, this is why it's called personal finance. This is why it's called personal responsibility. This is why it's called self-reliance. This is why it's called self-esteem. This is why it's called individual responsibility, because it's on you. The president ain't going to help you. Joe Biden ain't showing up to your house. Trump's showing up to your house. If you're since I started doing money content 10, 15 years now, do you know that 2/3 of America have been living paycheck to paycheck under every single president? You know this, Yinka. Yeah. Oh, under Biden, America, 2/3 are living in paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, it was also the same under Trump. Oh, yeah, it was also the same under Obama.
And it's not going to change.
And it's not going to change. So if you're looking for the president to bail you out, you got another thing coming, buddy. Focus on your money, save that money, save your house, because the White House won't save you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.